You are welcome to LFN What's Your Say? The new listening show where we discuss real issues with real people like you. We are still featuring R. Kelly. Real name Robert Sylvester Kelly. Also known as the R&B King. In the most recent episode of R. Kelly speaking out in an audio obtained by Rap House TV, he couldn't help but express how dissatisfied he is about the negligence the prison system has displayed, referring to the time he was left completely unattended to causing him to develop blood clots in his operated leg. R. Kelly expressed fear that he could end up losing his life as a result of the visible prison negligence which we all know does exist in the US prison system but is simply never addressed. While he has sounded really strong and positive in his past communications to his fans and supporters, this time round R. Kelly sounded a little afraid of what could happen to his life if the blood clots which developed as a result of this prison negligence worsened, a situation which according to medical histories of other patients who have had a similar condition could easily turn fatal. In this particular audio, R. Kelly is heard saying they didn't even X-ray and suggesting animals get way better treatment than he has been receiving while in prison. Now this is a serious allegation coming from the R&B King about a prison system in a country which has over the years made it its business to teach the rest of the world how citizens ought to be treated but their own prison officers. Our country has always tried to position itself as the champion of good governance and human rights protection around the globe. What we hear now, however, sends a completely different message and indicates that the US is no better than any other banana republic somewhere in the world which cannot remember the rights of its citizens. R. Kelly continues to speak out with total discontent, saying that while they want to see him spend the rest of his life in prison, he like everyone else should only die of natural causes, and that he doesn't deserve to die because somebody miscommunicated or simply took a guess on what could have been the situation with his leg, yet blood clots were developing and spreading all over. Anyone who listens to this audio will quickly concur with the R&B King. I mean, who wouldn't be scared for their life if one called out for help to remove something as simple and easy as a cast from one's leg, and is instead ignored by the prison medics? There is indeed a possibility that the negligence could have been intentional with an interest to see R. Kelly die in prison. Basing on what we have witnessed from past events where celebrities like him have lost their lives mysteriously, there is no way to rule out intent by Sony in conjunction with government to finish him off. And R. Kelly is right to be scared for his life in that area, like he puts it during this phone call conversation. Now listen.
Get the rest of my life in prison. I want to die.
Rap House TV.
Natural causes. And I deserve that. I don't deserve to die because somebody miscommunicated or somebody took a guess at what's going on with my leg.
Rap House TV.
I'm not supposed to die that way. You're not even supposed to take a chance on that. Because it was your child, if it was your father, if it was your mother, somebody you love, you would have said, go to the doctor, we need to get that checked out, we need to look at that, we need to x-ray that. They didn't even x-ray.
Rap House TV.
And that's why I'm speaking out on this, because I'm scared for my life in that area. And who wouldn't be?
That's right.
Who wouldn't be?
Rap House TV.
Animals better than that.
That's right.
Meanwhile, earlier in the year, as far as back in March, R. Kelly's attorney Jennifer Bonjean went hard on the Bureau of Prisons still regarding R. Kelly's health issues while at the MCC that saw the medical staff neglect him to the point of near death. Bonjean advised that the lack of prompt medical assistance to inmates was unacceptable irrespective of whether it was R. Kelly or any other inmates affected. She insisted the prison system ought to correct this and make the health condition of inmates their priority, because otherwise, it becomes yet another violation, if not the most serious, against the basic rights of inmates who remain citizens of the United States whether in prison or not. Putting the denial of R. Kelly's right to medical care while in prison aside, the government has time and again shown undeniable willingness and readiness to violate his rights for as long as it's helping them achieve their malicious target, which is keeping him locked up in prison, even though they failed to provide satisfactory evidence that he committed the alleged crimes. Meanwhile, when we mention government, we are talking all departments which have operated seemingly in tandem to violate this man's rights. It all begun when the district attorney's office decided to indict him basing on facts obtained through a commercial television show whose interest to generate revenue for the sponsoring stakeholders could not have allowed the producers to keep fair and truthful the participants' allegations. The commercialization of the TV series alone immediately creates a serious conflict of interest that cannot allow fair play to prevail. A little digging was able to reveal two damning findings with regard to the Lifetime TV series. One being that some of the producers who worked on this project were famous for their works with fictional reality shows such as Jonathan Murray of Keeping Up with the Kardashians among others, and the other being that Sony actually does own Lifetime Television and would obviously be interested in seeing the documentary succeed, considering R. Kelly's downfall saves the record company billions of dollars, money they would otherwise have to compensate him if he filed a lawsuit. And this explains why the show could freely use Sony-owned R. Kelly musical contents and clips from his copyrighted music videos with no fear that the record company would sue. It's very disturbing to recall outgoing Cook County District Attorney say it was this bogus and infamous TV series that caused her office to think they should look into this issue and file charges. Of course, Kim Foxx too already knew what was happening, and her office was a part of this even if she claims otherwise. The government lacked a starting point to trigger any sort of investigation into R. Kelly's life, and so they planned out the Surviving R. Kelly documentary. And with this show running on commercial streaming platforms for the whole world to see, they were able to contaminate the masses to think that there was indeed cause to investigate the R&B king, giving them a leeway to call upon any women who felt they had a grievance with Kelly to come forward over a press conference, a move that was so unheard of. As if an unfounded indictment based on a TV show was not enough, R. Kelly was not even allowed any opportunity to get bail such that he could prepare for his case, to allow him have sufficient time with his attorneys, and prepare a proper defense against the mountain of charges that were unfairly imposed on him. This in itself was injustice of the highest order, considering there were no clear reasons to deny him bail, except to allow the government in liaison with the Bureau of Prisons an opportunity to tap into R. Kelly's prison communications, and retrieve information that they would subsequently use to turn Azriel Clary into a criminal that stole from Robert, and through acts of witness tampering win her over to the government's side as their new witness before trial. Even when the trial was finally here, the malicious government again couldn't play fair when, with the assistance of the Brooklyn Federal Court Judge Ann Donnelly, they welcomed on board controversial jurors who were brave enough to promise prejudice as early as during the jury selection process and did not disappoint. They indeed made sure to prejudicially find him guilty on all 10 counts, even if the government failed miserably when it came to presenting sufficient evidence against Robert. Considering we now know all this, when R. Kelly comes out to speak of ill treatment by the system, we can clearly understand where he is coming from. Having had to withstand unfair and prejudicial treatment for the past 4 years, ranging from the airing of the Surviving R. Kelly documentary, through the trial process in what turned out to be a kangaroo court, to total negligence of his health needs in prison, is enough cause to incite such a desperate reaction. If you wish to take part in a live interview discussing any of these topics, let us know by sending an email to lfnmedia15@gmail.com for scheduling. Thank you for watching today's video, a production of LFN Media, giving you another perspective of issues at hand. We make it our business to keep you updated with the truth amidst the cloud of lies the media wants you to believe. It is therefore important to subscribe to this channel, hit the bell icon and allow all notifications so that you don't miss out whenever we publish a new video.